Hi there! In this Anytype tutorial, I'm going to show you 4 ways to link and unlink objects. The first method is to use the Add Link option that shows in a menu. Now, if you're in the graph view, you can right-click on an item, hover over Add Link to Object. You'll see a list of recent notes or pages that you've made. And I want this tahini bird cake that I saw in the Great British Bake Off. So now they are linked, and let's take a look at the custom cakes was the original object that I'm referring to in the chart. And so you can see that there are no links on this page, but you can see 2 links here. Now, if you don't see this in your Anytype page, you can go up to this triangle relations menu and you want to put a star next to these. So like if something is here, you can put the star, it turns yellow, and then it will end up showing underneath the title of your page or object, okay? So I'm going to remove that description. So I did enable links from this object and to this object. So we can see that the original says links to this object, and we've got the 2 links, tahini bird cake and the business ideas. Now let's look at what the arrow looks like on the graph view. So we can see here, let me make this a little bit bigger. So we can say that the bird cake is an outgoing link going towards the custom cakes. Same with the collection. That one is an outgoing link towards this custom cakes object. Now, if you want to unlink this connection, you would have to go to the object where it is outgoing, which means on the graph view, the one where it's pointing away from it. So if I click on the tahini bird, you'll see that it has a automatic text link of the original, right? So custom cakes showed up without me typing it here. So this is a way I can unlink it. So I'm going to click just to the left of the text where you see this yellow 3 dots. And here you can just delete this, okay? So now that I've deleted it, let's go back a little bit. I'm going to go to custom cakes, and we can see that that tahini bird cake note is no longer linked, right? So now it's only linked to business ideas, which leads us into our next way to link and unlink objects is through a collection. So a collection is similar to a folder. It's just a group of objects, and they are all related automatically in the graph view. So as you can see here, if I go back to this grid view, I'm going to add another object, and let's call this one t-shirt design. And so now t-shirt design, if I click on that object, let's expand it. It has 1 link, and of course it goes to the collection, business ideas. And if we take a look at this t-shirt in the graph view, we can see that it is going out from the business ideas towards t-shirt design. So in order to unlink this connection from the t-shirt design to the collection, we're going to have to go to the collection, and you can either click here. If you do a regular click, the page will be highlighted, and up here is an unlink option. You can also go down to your object, and this time we're going to right click, and this menu also has unlink from collection. So if I go ahead and do that, we can see that link is no longer there, right? And it's no longer linked here in the graph view either. Okay, that brings us to our third way to link and unlink objects, which is actually on the page of your object. And this time I'm going to look at dog walking service, right? So let's say I was taking some notes during the day of random things I was thinking about. So I'm going to start typing at, and then you can choose your keyword. So I'm going to try dog, and it will show me any recent notes or objects that I have dog in there. So I was talking to Maria earlier. She just adopted a dog, and now that I've put this as a link, this is called an inline link. It's underlined, and I can click here to go directly to that. So now on this one, you can see that it says one link to, and it links to this object, dog walking service. Now again, the arrow matters, so let's look at the graph view. So here, let me expand this a little bit. We can see that the dog walking service is here, and the arrow is pointing away from the dog walking service towards my note about Maria. So in order to unlink these two objects, I need to go to the originator, right? The original one. So click on dog walking service, and here, this is where I had started my inline link. I'm going to just click to the left of the text, just delete, right? So now you can see there's only one link back to the collection of business ideas, right? If you are on the page, you also have an option to do a block link instead of that underlined text. So the way to do that is to press the backslash key, and we're going to type link. And again, we've got this add link option. And if I select Maria note here, so this one is a little bit different. You can see that it's not underlined, but it is still clickable. So this one is known as a block link, right? And it has the same linking, so it links back to the dog walking service. And of course, I can't delete it here, so I need to go to the dog walking service. Here, you can hover to the left of the text and just delete that to remove the link. The next option is to use a relation, and this is here in the relations menu. If you're on the text editor page, go up to the triangle and you'll see the relation menu. For this dog walking service, I'm going to create a brand new relation, and I'm going to call it dog type. Right here, I'm going to select the plus create dog types, and then select the relation type. I'm going to select object. So this means I'm relating one object to another, and you do have an option to limit which object types. So I'm going to select that, and sorry, the menus are a little confusing here, so it's to the left. Okay, here I want to select just dogs because I don't want to have a huge list to choose from. Click right here, plus create object dog. Okay, and then one more click, create. At the bottom here, it says dog types. So if I select here, because I use that limiter dogs, it only shows me these three. If I select the French Bulldog, we can see that it says one link from and French Bulldog, right? So in this method, I added a relation, and it's coming from this object, the dog walking service, to the French Bulldog, right? So let's look at the graph view and make sure that's what happened. So here we go. We've got our dog walking service here. I added a relation called the dog types, and it's going, the arrow is pointing toward the French Bulldog, right? So if I want to delete this connection, I'm going to have to go to the relation, since it doesn't show up in the body of my page, and I'm just going to have to delete it here, right? And so now you can see it is unlinked. One last thing I want to show you is on the graph view, if you go to the top and click the Flow tab while you're looking at an object, you can see the links to and links from as well on this view. And that's pretty much it for the 4 ways you can link and unlink objects within Anytype.